Beep bop boop bop boop bop beep.
No music.
Roger, you said you had an idea for the episode. Is that a cold open or just
It's
in general?
it's not a cold it's not a cold open. It is an idea for the whole episode.
For the whole episode. What's that? Tell me.
I mean, I guess we are recording. So my idea would just be to go through the list of all of Spider-Man's B-list like side characters and pitch movie ideas for those.
You don't want to talk about Madam Web so badly.
Look, I would rather talk about the origin of J. Jonah Jameson before I talk about Madam Web some more.
That is the most I have ever heard someone not want to talk about Madam Web.
I'm glad that they chose to kind of step outside the bounds. And specifically, I'm talking about Sony, and like provide an origin so far back that we see Spider-Man being born. But I don't think we fucking needed it.
Is that one of your that's one of your values? You really wanted to be stepping back, branching out?
If I'm going to be completely honest, I think origin stories are boring as shit.
Yeah.
I think they should be hinted at and then left alone.
Well, that's why when this episode was originally conceived, we were going to do Morbius. And we're not going to talk about why we're not doing Morbius, but we're not doing Morbius. But when we were going to do Morbius, I was going to give a hard push that we write a sequel to Morbius that is an origin story for a different guy who also ends up being named Morbius.
Okay.
And we don't continue the story of Jetto Leto's the Morbius.
Gemmarino.
We skip straight to Morbius 2. And that's his name.
Yeah, that's the person.
Right, no,
Morbius,
yeah,
second,
the character is called Morbius 2.
And then after that, we do Morbius 3, and it's another origin story for another new Morbius. Same universe, third Morbius.
Nothing makes money like an origin story.
And then we do Black Morbius.
With the only natural progression.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, that has to be after 4 or 5, right?
Yeah.
So...
All right. Should we do an intro?
Hello, listeners, and welcome to the podcast where we watch a movie and dare to ask the question, what happens next? We are 3 unpaid interns who have been locked away in a basement somewhere in Hollywood and forced to turn out sequels to movies that nobody asked for. So grab some popcorn and your hard hat to join us on the ground floor of Sequel Factory. I am Roger.
I'm Jett.
And I'm X.
Hello, listeners, and welcome back to the podcast where we watch a movie and dare to ask the question, what happens next? Oh, wait, have we already done this?
No, we're not doing that.
Oh, have we already done this part?
Oh, we just did this.
Oh, what a weird deja vu.
Oh my god. And I know the next thing that you're going to say, Roger.
Well, what would that be?
It's webbing time.
So have you all ever
say
seen the movie
yes,
Next?
Roger?
Yep.
No, this is almost as chaotic as the movie itself.
I did actually grab a huge bag of popcorn. It's
for this?
yeah.
Oh, that's gonna be
great
a fun
for my editing.
Yeah.
I'm actually gonna turn on my camera. The viewers at home are not gonna see it, but I want you guys to see how big this bag of popcorn is.
That is a very large bag of popcorn. It is nice of our producers to drop bags of movie theater snacks down a chute for us to sustain ourselves.
This is how it works in Hollywood, man. We only get to eat a steady diet of popcorn and Coca-Cola, and that's it.
It's funny.
We thrive like the Max.
They tell us it's Coca-Cola. However, Madam Web seems to have an obsession with Pepsi.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
They tell us it's Coca-Cola, but then they say the old version, and I feel great.
And that makes actually a ton of sense.
So I just have to mention the Pepsi sign building. Why are there fireworks in the Pepsi Cola building?
So I had the same question. What I think happened was that was a firework factory. Hey, by the way, everyone, we watched Madam Web. It was a firework factory.
I thought it was great.
But Pepsi just owned the sign atop of it, right? Like they just bought that space to promote their product on a dock, right? Facing, I guess, the ocean.
I have been waiting with bated breath to see Madam Web brought to life on screen.
You have?
Yeah, she is one of the and I've been really excited since they started doing Spider-Man movies.
Toward the beginning of the movie, I was like, oh, okay, so like this is the origin, this is what we're seeing. I didn't expect to like see her get born, but throughout the whole movie, I was like, I'm pretty sure Madam Web is blind, or maybe she just wears a blindfold.
It's a double birther in this one. We get 2 births.
We get 2 babies.
We get 2 births and 17 origin stories. It's amazing.
It is ridiculous.
It was also 2 hours of literally nothing. The whole movie.
Nothing. Oh, fellas, you can't imagine how little happens in this flick. And that's cool.
Okay, so I just want to start out real quick. I had to look up some trivia for this as I was watching it because it was so boring. And there was 2 things that caught my attention. Go ahead, Jett.
I just want to say, so many people have talked about Madam Web. It's everything that I feel like everything you could possibly say about Madam Web has been said. But I'm gonna do my best to bring some novel perspectives to.
As someone who knows nothing, it
should be observed that this podcast most likely will be the last podcast to talk about a movie.
To talk about.
It all ends after this one.
So I didn't know anything about the Madam Web characters.
Right,
I looked up some trivia or whatever, and there was 2 things that caught my attention. The first one was that Madam Web doesn't have her own comic. She's a character who is not a title character in any comic, so it was interesting that they picked her for a movie. The second thing was that this movie takes place in 2003, specifically so that the filmmakers could shoehorn in Britney Spears' Toxic.
Toxic! I have that note in my phone!
Well, as if you couldn't
as if you couldn't any other
movie
time.
Soundtrack. Well, that's not. I call bad faith reading X. That is not why it's set in 2003. It's because Madam Web needs to be old by the time Spider-Man happens.
You say old, but she's only 30 years older than him.
Yeah, she's gonna be like 40, freaking grandma over here.
Hey, Gen Z has a pretty loose definition of what old is, okay?
That's fair.
And all of these, I say with the biggest scare quotes, teenage girls need to grow up to become their spider sonas.
So these characters would be like, what, 17 years older than Spider-Man?
Something like that, sure.
They would look way... So that would mean that there were spider heroes running around New York City long before Spider-Man.
Yeah, long before.
Long before the Avengers showed up eventually. No one ever talked about it. Also...
hang on, whoa! Do you think this is an MCU flick, X?
Be careful with this.
Whoa.
Because Sony would say so.
Because Sony
was definitely trying to shoehorn themselves in there, right?
At the beginning of the movie, the splash animations it's very clear that it says in association with Marvel.
Yeah.
In the way the water bottle in my hotel room is complimentary.
I also...
Okay, well, that would suggest that the water bottle is in association with the hotel.
That's right.
So, I don't know what kind of legal jargon Sony has in their contract with Marvel that they can't have Spider-Man actually in the movie, to the point that they shoehorn him into this movie with a single throwaway line at the very end where they imply that Adam Scott was Uncle Ben the whole time.
He was.
They say
implied?
They introduce him as Ben Parker in the beginning of the movie.
Yeah, his sister is Mary Parker, and they refer to
But
Richard.
those two names don't mean anything. It's just two names, right? Like he says something like, "Oh, I met someone," but they never say May, right?
Mm-hmm.
I actually
Richard,
give the
the
movie
father of
credit.
Peter, is mentioned, but Mary, the mother of Peter, is not.
You guys don't know the name of Peter Parker's parents, Mary and Richard?
So,
How do you
that
know
being
that
said,
name?
Fake fans?
whenever they have there's what is that called? A baby shower?
Sure.
And they're like,
Yeah.
let's play a game where we guess the
Let's play
name. But
guess the
before
name,
anyone
yeah.
says Peter, a balloon pops.
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm.
This is a big deal.
It's
is.
a fucking like. There's so many plot points in the movie that like balloon popping.
Uh-huh.
Whatever. I wrote here Sydney Sweeney.
I can answer your note. Yes.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. Man, this movie is bad. It's pretty bad. It plays like a very long episode of a television show because it was directed by
Yes.
a television director. So
Oh.
I wrote
I
some
think-
I wrote some WB style dream fight happens with Ezekiel and the three spider ladies.
Man's been in this basement so long he still calls it WB.
What is it called now?
Last show this man
CW.
watched was Smallville.
No, hold on. What is it called now?
Supernatural season 1.
Stop. What is it
Buffy
called?
the Vampire
It's the
Slayer.
CW. It's the CW.
Yeah.
I should have known that.
Warner Brothers Television. Would you like to go down for a night at the Ritz?
The WB. Hey, Jett, to be fair
Let me
to
grab my
Roger,
top hat and cane.
I don't think he's had cable since he was maybe like 10. So
Oh, man.
The only TV shows that I watch are the ones that Jenna sits me down to make me watch. Speaking of, I
you watch
just watched the
Severance?
first episode of The Outer Range, and holy shit, episode 1 from the get-go. Great show. This is not a sponsored episode.
I don't want to get your hopes up, Roger, but it drops off quite a bit in the second season, and then
How could
it
you
got
say
canceled,
those two
so-
sentences back to back?
You
What,
gotta get it. You gotta
hopes
get
up
in
and
on,
then drop down.
Yeah,
gotta
you're
get
like,
in
"Oh,
on-
get your hopes up.
You gotta get in on Severance to get more of
I've
that.
heard
Ben-
Severance is quite
that
good.
Ben Parker goodness.
Yeah, get more of that
Yeah.
Ben Parker in an alternate universe that is part of the MCU.
He's straight up. Adam Scott is fantastic in the movie. I mean, he is just all charisma on screen all the time.
You know what's
I will
not
say
good
he
in
is
the
the
movie?
only person. Oh,
The movie?
Yeah, you really beat me to the punch there. And my punch was just going to be the use of ADR.
yeah.
This is probably the most discussed element of Madam Web. What my favorite line in the film is from the terrible non-Spider-Man Ezekiel.
No, Spider Bad is what I've written him down as.
Okay, sure.
Yeah, Spider Bad.
The opposite of a man. I wrote down the line with really specific capitalization. Where's my spider? They took my spider.
They took my spider.
They took my spider.
So,
Okay,
it
hold
should be
on,
mentioned, all of the actors in this movie can act. They all
yeah.
chose not to.
See, I was gonna say Adam Scott is the best actor in this movie because I think he's the only one who has extensive experience in television.
Sydney Sweeney, but Euphoria's, I mean, not that much of like a TV show.
Yeah,
I haven't
and
seen it.
I just really couldn't believe her as like a shy kind of 15-year-old. I don't know if I don't know what these are supposed to be.
Definitely
No.
a young nerd or whatever she was.
I think their idea is like, okay, well, we put some women in wigs and they'll look like children.
Sure, whatever. I mean, the girl who played Dora the Explorer does still look like she's 12, but I don't know.
And you know
Putting her
what?
next
In
to
this
Sydney
film-
Sweeney
for her.
didn't quite work.
That's a
I
hint
didn't-
to next week's episode.
I didn't notice Dora in the film, Madam Web.
That's because this is a prequel.
Oh.
Yeah, get with it. She hadn't been born yet.
Her father got deported, and so when she goes back to find him, that's when Dora the
Oh,
Have
is that
you
that-
seen my
Think so.
father?
Was that the actors who played Dora in the Dora the Explorer and the
Yeah, the
Lost
live
Gold
action.
of Don Quixote or whatever it was?
Yeah, I believe so. Let me double check. She looked super familiar, and then I saw her in something else, and I was like, "Who is that?" And then it was like, "Oh yeah, that's Dora the Explorer."
So, really quick, do we kind of want to just kind of shuffle our way through the plot of this film?
What
plot?
Well, I mean, okay, so like we have.
I can give it a real good go here, right?
Okay, yeah.
And then we can go into detail after the fact. But
What was that sound?
I was moving my mic stand. Need to put some WD-40 on there.
Sound like a dog toy.
Oh, sorry, that was my Phantom. Shut up.
Slaps Phantom.
Yeah, he's always trying. He's always singing out of key.
Yeah, he's squeaking.
Because freaking Joel Schumacher always makes him record all the audio on set.
Jett, I implore you to continue with this bit.
The Phantom of the Opera bit, or the
no, the movie's plot, please.
I can do a tight 5 on Phantom.
I know you can.
A future episode. Because I have a feeling Jett's gonna make us do exclusively musicals. So.
So a pregnant woman is in the jungle trying to find cures.
She's in the jungle trying to find the god spider. The man who becomes the villain shoots her, and she dies, but not before a bunch of tribal white men climb down from the trees and save her baby with spider venom. She dies, and then I guess they send her to New York into the foster care system. She grows up, becomes a paramedic, works with Ben Parker.
Here you go.
And then randomly, for no, I think, conceivable reason, starts having visions of moments in the future. And it sort of
she had a near-death experience.
Yeah, she
has a
hits her head
near-death
on a windshield.
experience. And this activates her latent spider energy.
So the way I would describe this power, this forced deja vu, is a spider sense that happens way too early.
Yeah, I was gonna say they never. At least, I'm not familiar with any of the comic stuff, but I've never heard of his spider sense being described as foresight per se.
No, spider sense is just kind of like an energy, like a change in the winds, so to speak.
They do kind of give lip service to the idea of spider sense, because they talk about it being that some of these jungle spider Amazonians have
a sixth
sense, almost as if seeing the future. That's not what Madam Web, whose name is Web, that's not what she does.
Fucking
that's her
Web.
actual name. Yeah,
she do be seeing the future. God, can you imagine if all of the characters in these like Sony Spider-Man villain movies it was just like their actual name? Like, can you imagine if like Morbius was named Morbius, or
his name is Samuel Morbius,
or if Craven, his name was just Craven, like that's not even believable.
Okay, all right.
Continue.
Morbius's name actually is Dr. Michael Morbius, by the way.
Yeah, I think Roger mentioned that already.
Okay, good. He said Samuel.
I did say fun. Samuel, but that's because I don't remember.
Anyway, she's seeing the future. She does some shenanigans and is like, whoa, I can see the future. And then she runs into some girls on a train, and then a man in a suit, and then later a spider suit shows up and tries to kill him. The rest of the movie is just them running away from this evil man.
And her seeing the future.
Seeing the future, stopping problems, dancing to Toxic, and then eventually she hits him with an ambulance. And
oh my God!
You're
that
skipping
moment,
a lot.
in my notes. Oh, where is it? You go ahead, X.
At one point in the middle, she flies to Peru to get some exposition that we didn't need because we already saw. Let me say, I'm so sick of movies that contain all of the information in the movie, starting with a little prologue that shows us all of the mysteries, so that we're watching the movie and we already know everything, and then they have to explain it again.
So we get the whole
Cut out the beginning of the film.
Of the mom in the jungle. We see everything, and then at some point, Webb saves these girls, stuffs them into a hotel room, is like, "I'll be back." Goes to her apartment, and apparently, despite having never met her mom because her mom dies in childbirth, she just has all of her mom's stuff.
Yeah.
Like, despite the fact that she was thrown into foster care. But
which would mean that the tribe of
the jungle spider white people sent all of the stuff.
Las Arañas or whatever.
Yeah.
Yes. And then she goes to Peru, meets the guy who gave birth to her, and then he shows her a vision of her mom, which is just the entire beginning of the movie.
It's just the big, we see the whole thing again.
Yes.
But I mean,
why did they put it at the start?
To when she was pregnant with her.
Yes. And
it
then
would genuinely
clip,
be so much better. Because at the very least, if it didn't have the beginning prologue, we would at least be watching with a sense of mystery.
And the freaking, oh my God, what's her name? The lead?
Cassie,
sure. She, throughout the entire movie, doesn't express any feelings towards her mom really at all. She's just kind of like a depressed person. And then in this
who hates getting
flashback,
given drawings, I guess.
Yes, who hates like families because she never had one. But she's in this flashback weird. And she's literally saying stuff like, "Why do you hate me so much, Mom?" And then within the span of less than a minute, she goes from that to, "Mom really cared about me. You were trying to save me, blah, blah, blah." And then she goes back to save these girls. It's all the character progression in 1 minute.
She saves the girls, and how does the bad guy die again?
He gets killed by a Pepsi sign.
Right,
he
gets thrown off a building and
crushed.
And crushed. I think I have it in my notes. Straight up crushed by the pea.
Yes, a pea does crush him. The letter P, it should be mentioned, not a vegetable.
Just a giant pea falls right on him.
He has all that super strength, but a sign that's more than likely hollow, like
very
crushed
poorly animated to make it look really heavy in a way that doesn't make any sense.
The whole climax of this movie with the fireworks going off and all the ADR. Jesus Christ.
Usually
it's a rough watch.
Usually explosives are measured in sort of like total payload of like energy contained within, right? This factory measures their fireworks yields by time. And let me tell you, there's 15 minutes worth of fireworks in that fireworks factory.
It's pretty impressive. And
those they all launch in a row.
Could break through brick walls, which I don't know if you've ever... I was a redneck kid for a long time. I played with fireworks. No brick walls are coming down.
Was?
What? What's the joke you're trying to make here?
I loved the silence.
So,
anyways,
she gains the power to be in multiple places at once. Don't know how that's related to any of the rest of it.
Ask about that. Does she send like projections of herself to save the three girls?
Yeah.
Or does she move through time like clock stoppers? Right. She can just move super fast or within
Clock
different
Stoppers
timelines.
Is somehow a better movie.
Oh, it's a much better movie. We should definitely do it for this podcast.
We should do Clock Stoppers.
Are you familiar, Jett?
God, we don't want to talk about Madam Web.
No, we don't. I picked Morbius because I knew it was going to be bad, and then we flipped to this because we knew it was also going to be bad, and it was so much worse than I thought.
It's bad, but it's also nothing.
Like,
yeah, the whole time I was like, what are we going to do for a sequel?
It's the only movie where the villain, you see their whole process. Like within the first 20 minutes of the film, you've learned the villain's entire motivations, which is exclusively, I have spider power so I can kind of have dreams of the future now, like Madam Web, because I stole a spider from the woods. But ever since then, I've been having dreams of my future getting killed by these 3 spider chicks.
Also, what's up with that? Because they don't kill him.
No.
Madam Web's like, they were never your future, I was. So what, the spider was just screwing with
messing with them.
Yeah. The villain was getting visions of a future, right? And the
Where he
end of
gets
the
killed
movie, we are
by these spider
proven
women.
that future does not exist.
No.
Yep.
So
his
his
whole thing is
driving
just like-
force is wrong.
It's not.
But
Like,
also, this isn't
villainous.
That's So Raven, man. This is she clearly changes the future every single time she sees it.
Right.
It's really weird.
So technically,
Because
she's not seeing the future.
It would have been
whole-
easier for him to just befriend these 3 teenage girls.
Right.
Probably not the best move, I feel. But like,
Well,
I don't know.
Or like, make them his minions or something.
Something.
He doesn't have like evil plans or plots. He's not seeking power. He gets everything he's ever wanted in the first like 2 minutes of the movie by stealing this spider, and then it's just like, man, I don't want to die to these spider girls.
Yeah, he's literally like, I don't want to die in 15 years, maybe. So-
I guess I'll go murder some teenagers, but then for some reason, on the way, he just like indiscriminately kills other random people.
And,
Like he's always
like,
just walking into a room and starts snapping necks of people who are not his target.
like in the diner when that happened, I wrote, why kill the
What did
people
he
eating?
do?
Like,
What did he
why'd
do?
you do that?
Stay
It's okay,
focused,
listeners.
man.
If you hear that and you think, spoilers. Here's the thing: that was all a premonition. So
Yeah, none of it actually happens because she changes the future every single time.
and maybe
any-
that's, like that's obviously the point of the power, right? Is so that she
Yeah.
can see what goes wrong and then immediately change it. Right? She
but
fixes
she's
that problem
technically-
before it happens.
She's not seeing the future. If anything, she's peeking into a different dimension, right?
The thing is, if she was able to know that she was in a
Or
future
different
vision,
reality.
it
Yeah.
would be completely overpowered, right? Because you could just like really it's reverse time travel. Cuz she's like making choices in these future visions. As soon as
here's
she
my idea
has
for-
the vision, it makes it impossible for that to be the future. Because it is intrinsically changed by her having the vision. So no vision that she ever has will actually be the future.
I asked at the beginning of the podcast, have either of you ever seen the movie Next
Yes.
with Nicolas Cage?
Hey, Jett, I'm going to spoil it for you. The last 40 minutes of that movie is a premonition
Yeah.
that he then changes.
So at the very, very end of the movie, you find out that again, like X
Oh,
just said,
so-
the past 40 minutes were all a premonition that could happen.
Which is a twist because even though the character can see the future, he can only see like 10 seconds into the future. So when you realize he saw a whole freaking like week into the
Twilight-
future, you're like, wow.
Doesn't
Yeah,
like
Twilight
one of the
also
last
does something
Twilight
similar.
movies
Wait,
Hold
does
on.
this?
So, I'm so glad you brought this up. I compared, because I watched Twilight for the first time recently, the very end of the third movie of Twilight did this correctly. They somehow did it better, which I wasn't anticipating.
Let's
So here's my idea for a sequel, right?
Yeah, go.
Okay.
The girl at the computer.
wait.
It's just her
Wait.
story.
Wait.
All right.
Will, I want to say something because we've been doing this show for a while,
Yes.
right? And I think I've realized that there are a few concepts that we have revisited with shocking regularity. And
Oh, what, like
I-
President sequels?
I propose a concept ban list.
Okay.
For when we start overusing something. And I have two on here. One of them
Okay.
is world has been taken over by insert antagonistic faction. And the
Okay.
other one is, and I don't know why we keep like going back to this idea for some reason, but evil presidents just seem to be a recurring
Yeah, I wonder
I
why.
couldn't tell you why. I don't know
We don't
why we
know.
would lean that direction.
Honestly,
So-
it's just a funny premise that the top thing you could do is become the president, right? And it's always
Yeah.
like the most awful or incompetent person in the movie to do it. But you know what? In
It's
I
just
will
a funny
defend myself.
comedy idea.
In the tag thing, he didn't become the president. He was being honored by the president, okay?
That's true.
That's right. That's right. Oh, I think we also how many times have we done like evil church or evil religious faction? Was it just in the one?
I think it was just the Pineapple Express one.
Okay, that's fine. We'll keep that.
It's not that the church was evil. It was just the guy running it.
That's true. Are there any other things that immediately come to mind that we should put on the concept ban list?
3 hour deviations from the storyline. I think we've done that at least twice. So.
Okay, that's
we did it
on
like
there.
5 times in the one episode.
I can't
nothing,
think of
Roger?
any other things to kibosh.
Okay. Well, we will if we end up noticing any too common things, we'll revisit this.
Okay,
But
great.
so we got to avoid those on this one. Go ahead with your sequel idea, X. Wait, no. Did you say it's just about the woman in the chair that's helping out the bad guy?
Yeah, because we don't know what happened to her. He's
We
dead
don't
now,
recognize
so
her
what-
name.
I don't even remember what her face looks like, honestly.
It's the only movie villain I've ever seen that has like a guy in the chair the whole time who's like radioing in and like helping out, and she's just there. Who is this guy?
So Ezekiel definitely hired her because she was like, he could get her equipment from the TSA for facial recognition technology. So,
Yeah.
but like, how much is he paying her? Because it has to be a lot. She knows he wants to kill these teenage girls.
And
She's
she's
into
helping
it.
him. So was it Amaria? Hold on.
Is
I
that it?
see. I did a very short list for the cast on IMDb, and she's the only one whose face I don't recognize. So, maybe. Well, it could either be her or fresh-faced nurse or beautiful woman. So I'm guessing
I
it's
gotta
Amaria.
say, I think the thing is, this movie very overtly sets up future installments. I mean, the whole thing is an origin story and basically ends with the promise of you're gonna get to see these spider ladies do stuff sooner or later.
Eventually,
But
not
it's
in this
never going to
movie.
happen.
Yeah.
I think we need to give that to the audience. I think we need to come up with a straight and narrow plot where these girls get spider powers and do cool spider stuff.
Okay, so
yeah.
here's the thing: is that Ezekiel keeps saying through the whole movie, he's like, these girls are gonna get powers somehow. Or I gotta stop them. They don't imply at all how they're gonna get the powers. She doesn't bring a spider back from the Amazon or whatever. Just what is she gonna take them on a field trip down there or something? Like, I guess we can come up with that.
Yeah, I think that's what we come up with.
But I think a sequel to Madam Web also needs to be just as boring as the first Madam Web. But yeah.
I think we could. I think every time we pitch a scene, we could say, "But it's boring."
There were. I just want to say before we get really into it, because I realize I have 2 more notes that I really want to zero in on. There was one thing that really set me in 2003, and one thing that really set me outside of 2003, and then one thing that I thought maybe was an actual theme of the movie.
Okay.
What set me in 2003 was when she said she needed to go home to watch American Idol.
American Idol. She just called it Idol, but yeah.
Yeah.
And then one of the teenage girls said hangry, which no one said hangry in 2003.
Yeah, wasn't that from a Snickers commercial, like in the mid 2000s, like later, closer to like
I would say late 2000s.
2010 or
Yeah.
whatever? Yeah.
Yeah, late 2000, late aughts.
So-
And then I had the realization that I think the movie is potentially about post 9/11 surveillance with the Patriot Act and the Iraq War as a farce under the guise of preventative action.
So this is another theme that you do every episode.
Where you
Which
look
I'm
for
not
a
saying-
theme.
I'm not saying,
You can't ban me from criticizing America.
but I'm not going to say that you're wrong, because Ezekiel does say that the TSA is working on new technology.
Yes,
And-
I think it is he is overtly using systems that are being developed under the Patriot Act to surveil the American population.
And I think he literally he kind of implies that she's bringing physical like equipment back to his like lair or whatever to help him do this, which also was another thing I noticed. All that equipment, sure, TSA, whatever, way too advanced for 2003.
Way too advanced.
I don't think it's TSA. I think it's NSA.
Yeah.
I think
no, it's going to be the TSA.
Yeah,
the
TSA. Yeah. But no, the whole movie, the antagonist is utilizing this like new like surveillance system to track these girls down, and his whole thing is this pretense of I need to take preventative action to stop these girls from gaining power so that they won't come kill me, which is just not different enough to looking for weapons of mass destruction in Iraq.
Yeah.
The
So
Iraq
rethinking-
War was happened in 2003.
It was staged in 2003.
It was staged
yes.
by Stanley Kubrick 5 years after his death. So
It's the same year. It honestly seems a little bit weird for it to be a coincidence. Like
No,
I feel like someone somewhere in this process wanted to tell some kind of a story about the Patriot Act.
well, it
or
was
the
written
Iraq
by like
War.
5 different people. So I don't know. Maybe there was
Someone
some
snuck that
like
in.
actual thought put into this, but I don't know. You know, we could.
So the sequel needs to follow a framework of the SEAL Team 6 going after Osama bin Laden.
It's not SEAL Team 6 though. It's the Spider Ladies, right?
Well, the
So what
bad
if-
guys in the bad guy in the first one was the American sort of imperialist force. So the bad guys need to be SEAL Team 6. Oh my god, it's the Sinister Six. Ah!
SEAL Team Sinister 6. X for you. The Sinister Six was a
No, I'm
collection
familiar
of.
with the Sinister Six.
Okay, I'm just
yeah.
trying to help you out.
Okay.
They were implied at the very end of that really terrible Andrew Garfield series, but
Yeah, the second
saying-
Amazing Spider-Man was not good, but I
for the
think
listeners, I'm not saying Andrew Garfield was bad. Those
No.
movies were just bad.
it had potential, but
It had
no one was
potential.
brave enough to go through with it.
Yeah.
Okay. So do we want to do the Sinister Six?
That feels a little too obvious. What if we just did Peter Parker as he goes through his elementary, junior high, and high school eras?
Oh, his entire life before his powers.
Yeah. It like
He
there
can't have
has to be a
powers at all
stretch
in
of
this
time where
movie.
Peter Parker was just a kid who did some stuff.
Oh, and then we can get more Adam Scott.
Absolutely,
Okay.
yes.
I like this.
He
Okay,
does-
but the movie still stars Dakota Johnson as Madam Web, but she's watching over Peter because she's seen visions
She
of Peter
knows that
Parker's
she's
future
going
as
to be
Spider-Man.
a mentor to him one day.
Dude, how nonchalant was she? Like, you know, they had that little throwaway line. They're like, Ben's loving being an uncle after less than a day. And she's like, one of them says like, yeah, all the fun with none of the responsibility. And she's like, well,
So he
that's
thinks.
what he thinks, right?
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, so you're just not going to warn him that his family is going to get, I don't know, brutally murdered or something
Okay.
one day?
No, I really like this whole angle of following young Peter Parker.
What
right? So I think-
if... no, Jet, I'm going to let you finish. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say I feel like the movie starts and these Spider Women have already have gotten their powers unexplained
Yeah,
and
no
have gone off
explanation.
to do spider stuff somewhere else off screen, and we are only focused on Dakota Johnson as that's her name, right?
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're just focused on Dakota Johnson as Madam Web, as other spider stuff is theoretically happening in the background in other places, but we don't get to see that.
So I'm gonna bounce off of that. My initial reaction was, what if Dakota Johnson's character Cassie spends the whole movie saving Peter Parker from imminent demise in multiple ways, but he doesn't know about it?
Okay, hang on. That's so good. I think the inciting incident, right, is we get into the status quo, and she is just going throughout her life, sort of watching over Peter Parker, doing her job, knowing Ben, hanging out with Ben. It's all going fine and chill. And she, like, the first thing that happens is, like, Peter Parker's, like, going on a field trip, right, as a kid, and is, I don't know, what's a place that a field trip would be in?
What, like a
In
zoo?
New York City? I don't know.
Probably
Jersey.
just like Central Park. They're not going to Jersey.
Let's say they're at a museum,
Jersey
right?
is the zoo. Yeah.
And they're at a dinosaur. They're at like a dinosaur exhibit. And there's a big like model of a Tyrannosaurus Rex, right? The terrible lizard, as the name means. And as they're like there at the field trip, and she's like sort of like chaperoning, she sees a vision of the T-Rex statue collapsing, and it goes down and crushes Peter Parker as a child in just a big wet puddle. It's horrible. Yeah. It's the worst. But then she flashes back. She's like, "Whoa!" And she rushes in and scoops him up. And the dinosaur crashes and explodes against the ground. And that was the lizard. One of the first members of the Sinister Six.
Yeah. Oh, every possible death can allude to someone in the Sinister Six. But
I actually can't let you get away with this in suggesting that Tyrannosaurus means terrible lizard.
Or is it just dinosaur that means terrible
Dinosaur means terrible lizard.
Dinosaur.
You're opening up a can of worms there, Jett. I do love the idea that this movie would just be us getting glimpses of a child being brutally killed in different ways.
Wait, the whole movie is montage of child Peter Parker being brutally eviscerated in multiple ways. He's then getting saved from that fate.
He's at a fortune teller. But the table leg breaks and the crystal ball rolls off and just like crushes his chest. That's Mysterio.
And he gets they go to the aquarium and an octopus just sucks him through
the glass.
This is good. This is good. We're writing gold here. We are going a little fast though. We might want to slow down.
Well, no, this movie can't be 2 hours long.
Buddy.
Yeah. But this sequel can't be 2 hours long. It has to be cut down to, I'm going to say 80 minutes because, man, if we have to sit through an extra 40 minutes of just this boring crap, I'd probably kill myself. Okay, so
I have an idea. I want to say I have an idea for an ending. We'll get there, but
okay.
Yeah, hold on to that. They're at like an aquarium and a tank starts to tip over and is gonna crush Peter, but Madam Web saves the day in a wheelchair. Maybe, I don't know if that's still. And obviously Electro gets covered in electric eels, a la Amazing Spider-Man 2.
Electro is getting covered in electric eels in the background, but the real problem is just a power wire following onto the water after the octopus attack has survived, so the power wire is going to electrify the water, so she has to roll in because her wheelchair wheels are insulated.
Hold on, I just gotta say something about her wheelchair real quick. At the very end of the movie, we just catch a glimpse of it. Because then in her vision, she doesn't have it.
Oh, that's right.
It was such a futuristic wheelchair for 2003, right?
Her glasses look so dumb. She's wearing them the whole movie in this one.
I love how this is going to be a genre blend between, I guess the first movie and Final Destination.
Yeah, it's sort of Final Destination, isn't it?
I want to see this child go through the most dramatically complicated deaths ever seen on screen just to be saved, right? He's safe. We know he lives.
Final WEBstination.
Die.
Final WEBstination is good. That's good. Let's hold on to that, maybe play with it later.
Oh man, he's on the playground. This little kid, he's on the playground, but his the bullies, they bury him in the sand.
In the sand, Sandman got it.
And then the truck comes to refill the sandbox, and just buries him under the sand. So she has to come and just dig him up by hand before he suffocates under there.
Peter, during his teenage years before he gets bit by the spider, goes bowling, right? And then there's a
it's
bowling
like his whole
incident.
life.
And oh no, he gets one of the bowling ball return machine gets like overworked and it's shooting out bowling balls and it smashes his face in. But, fortunately, Madam Web swoops in, saves him from that. But that in turn creates the Kingpin.
Oh, crap.
I was wondering where you were going with that.
It took him a while, honestly.
Man.
Oh man, he's playing his first ever, he's a teenager. He's playing his first ever game of D&D with some of his friends.
Okay.
And he's doing what's the Lost Mines of Phandelver, right? Like the starter adventure that comes with pretty much every DM starter kit.
I mean, in the earlier editions,
and he's about to lose at the first encounter with these terrible goblins in the cave, and Madam Web steps in to also play D&D with her superior knowledge of min-maxing and saves him from the Green Goblin.
Oh boy!
Was that all 6? Did we get through them?
I think.
We did Doc Ock. We did Mysterio. What was the first one?
Oh my god! They're at the zoo, and he falls. He falls into the rhino pen, and it's a whole big news story, a national news story. How are we gonna get this kid out of there? And then Madam Web shows up with a gun and shoots the rhino.
Sorry, Madam Web and a gun makes the movie way more interesting.
I think after 7 bespoke near-death accidents with poor Peter Parker, she just starts carrying a gun, staying at a distance. So at the drop of a hat, if she sees any premonition of something going slightly wrong,
just starts
blasting.
Hey, guns solve everything, okay?
And it just keeps going.
So, what the climax of the movie, right?
So
has to
Peter
be...
Parker. Oh, I
go ahead.
got it.
Go for it.
Peter Parker. He's a teenager, right? He survives so many things. Throughout the whole thing, he manages to never really find out about his angel in disguise, Madam Web. She stays hidden so as to try not to influence him too much, because she has these premonitions of him being this great hero in this red and blue costume, right?
Okay.
And so he's at a field trip to a science lab, right? And all of his classmates are there, and they're in there in one of the exhibits where they're working on genetic modifications on insects to try to learn from insect traits. And then we sort of pan down. One of the spiders has escaped. We see from above as this genetically modified spider lowers itself down on a thread and lands on the hand of young Peter Parker. The spider rears back, bares its fangs, and then sniped from 1,000 yards.
Okay.
Because she's sick of these freaking animals messing with this kid, and she doesn't realize that for some reason a red and blue costume with big eyes is spider-themed in any way. So she just stops the whole thing, and you never get Spider-Man.
So Spider-Man never happens. This one's going to be called Spider-Man No Spider at all.
No spider this time.
No spider here. Spider-Man, someone shot the spider.
Spider-Man, go home. Nothing interesting happened.
Spider-Man, go home.
See, I was going to suggest we see, we're close on the spider. We get all this, the iconic imagery of the spider going down, landing on somebody's hand as they're about to snap a picture, and then the fangs clutching into their skin. And then we realized that it wasn't Peter Parker at all the whole time. It was anybody else, because again, none of Madame Web's visions ever come true. So literally,
right,
she was never actually seeing him as Spider-Man.
Well, that's the thing. That's the thing. It's not like it's a monkey's paw thing where she sees a future and then it's not a Raven's. That's the Raven thing. It's not like someone else was Spider-Man in her future visions. No, she was seeing Peter Parker in the future as Spider-Man, but we know that if she sees it, it doesn't happen.
It can't.
Yeah,
it's not allowed.
Exactly.
That's like one of the base magic systems of the whole freaking franchise.
Okay.
She's just so good at being Madame Web that she just stops anything interesting from happening ever.
I was going to say, it's quite a boring climax, but
yeah,
I guess it's fitting. We only have 80 minutes to shove all this stuff in, so I guess it's just going to have to do.
We have to have like 7 different child actors to play the many iterations of young Peter Parker. And somehow they're all 20-year-old adult actors.
It's all Finn Wolfhard.
What if they've been filming it the whole time? As he grows up, it's a Boyhood situation.
They just keep calling him a child. Like, this is my 4-year-old son. It's Finn Wolfhard.
Hey.
It's going to be a crazy one to go back and do all the reshoots, but it's fine. It's no one's going to see this movie anyways. We're definitely not getting freed from this basement anytime soon.
No,
you know the
this
thing that
isn't
really
doing
turned
it.
me against Madame Web?
Oh, what's that?
It's when they say in the movie, the jungle white man. I don't actually know if he's white. He's not very dark skinned.
He definitely doesn't look like he's from Peru.
Well,
not
the further south
particularly.
you go,
He does not look like
the
an indigenous
paler they
sort
get,
of.
So
Yeah.
Anyway, his like big thing is he says to Madame Web, when you take responsibility, great power will come.
yep.
Which is so close.
That's the problem, is it's not. When you switch it around, it means something fundamentally, completely different the message of Spider-Man.
I meant the words were close.
Yeah, the words are close, but it definitely means like in Spider-Man,
switch it around.
Like, in Spider-Man, it's saying, hey, you have this ability to help people, so you're going to have to take on the responsibility, right?
Yes,
and this,
you
what they're
have
saying
privilege,
is,
you have ability, you have agency, you owe the world good. You have to do good in the world because of what you have been granted that other people don't have.
Mm-hmm. Whereas here it's saying, if you want to do it, then you'll get powers. So.
Yeah, just like go do like some sick hero shit and you'll get awesome. You'll get super strong and powerful.
It's the whole reason. I guess that's how it worked with Captain America in the first place.
Yeah.
Oh, true.
Yeah.
But he wasn't taking responsibility in service. He wasn't seeking power. He was never that's the problem, is this advice is saying essentially do good so that as an instrumental means of getting ahead in the world.
Yeah. Well,
I was going to say, toward the end of the film, I really wish that she would have tried to replicate that quote to Uncle Ben, but said it wrong. Like she couldn't remember what she heard.
Or she says it verbatim. Yeah.
We have it in the sequel. That's fine.
And she says it to Uncle Ben, and he's like, well, that's very interesting. And then he drives Peter to this wrestling match. And then as Peter is coming out of the wrestling match, and the criminal is, because as we know, right, like you don't, as the Spider-Verse movies say, you don't need powers to take responsibility and be a hero, right? You don't need the mask. So maybe Peter can become a hero anyway. So the bad guy is running out of the wrestling match with the money from the register, and Peter doesn't stop him. He's coming out, and Ben Parker gets in the way. The bad guy holds up the gun, and then bam, sniped from 1,000 yards by Madame Web.
Oh, so Madame Web.
Ben lives.
Peter's trying to be a hero the whole time. In the future, as he grows as an adult, he really wants to be a superhero. but in reality, it's just Madam Web in the background, kind of facilitating his ability to
blowing holes through bad guys.
So Peter starts to think that he has the power of, if I get myself into danger, the bad guys get their heads exploded by bullets from somewhere.
He has the power of delusion. I think we did it. I think
I'm struggling to find a name for this. I mean, if we follow theme, the movie should just be called like Peter Spider, or
well, it could be Final WEBstination.
Final WEBstination's still pretty good.
It could be Spider-Man Go Home.
Madam. You know what's funny though is that Madam Web.
Madam
her
Gun.
name is spelled. Her name is spelled WEBB, so the title isn't even necessarily in reference to her either.
It's true. Michael Morbius's name actually has a silent N at the start of Morbius that they don't include.
Oh my god.
If you pronounce it phonetically, it would be Michael Morbius.
Morbius.
Oh, we could just call this movie Nemorbius. Just a total misdirect.
I'm gonna fucking pass out.
Oh, she's called Black Morbius.
Oh god. No one's gonna understand this.
They will if they listen to the whole episode.
Oh boy.
What if we title it Madam Morbius, but Morbius doesn't show up in the movie? Because in the post-credit scene, Morbius is about to get his terrible bat powers, and then Madam Web shows up, shoots him, stops Morbius from ever happening.
During the casting call of Morbius, Madam Web shows up and shoots Jared Leto in the fucking head.
On account of the crimes!
On account of all the crimes!
Allegedly.
Okay. Oh my god. My head hurts so bad from the last 5 minutes.
Alright, I think we're gonna go with Final WEBstination.
That's probably gonna be the nicest thing to read on any website here.
And she gains my favorite superpower, the ability to release poison.
Oh god.
Hold on. Before we end, I just have to say, what is it about these spider powers that you just inherently have to make the Spider-Man suit, right? There's no other alternate. The tribal guys have the freaking vines all over them that look like webs. The Ezekiel has the spider suit.
It's just Spider-Man's outfit.
Yeah. How's Spider-Man? What? Do the spiders give you like a little diagram of a suit that you can make whenever you get the powers, or
maybe that's the future talking, right? Like you see your design in the future, and you're like, oh, that's what I gotta make.
Sure, whatever.
Final Jett, you said you had an idea for the next movie.
Yeah. Show's got a real problem, boys.
Name the problem.
Not enough musicals.
No one's seen these gosh darn movies. And we try our best to summarize. We try our best, but we always have a narrow casting issue. My suggestion is, every time we do an episode, one of us has not watched the movie. And it rotates.
Oh.
So it's a different person each time who hasn't watched the movie. And so they come in, and they get to ask questions as the Luke Skywalker audience insert to get an idea of what this film is.
This was almost the original idea to Part 2, the sequel continued. Was that one person would have to watch a movie and the other person would have to guess what happens throughout it.
Yeah, see, I don't think we need to do that, but I think if one person hasn't seen it, then the audience, if they have seen it, they can relate to half of us. So
the show needs a surrogate, is what you're saying.
The show needs a surrogate, an audience insert each episode. And beyond that, they'll be coming at it with a fresh perspective to bring spice to the sequelizing without being held back by actually having seen the film.
Okay.
I think it's a neat idea.
I think we should try it at least 3 times.
Yeah. It might be hard finding. Well, I mean, I guess I haven't seen a lot of the movies that we did recently, but I have seen a lot of movies. So.
Yeah,
true.
Now, Jett, did you have a suggestion for the next movie?
Yeah.
Or even you, Roger?
I did. Little Shop was our last one, right?
Oh, yeah, so it would be your turn, Roger.
I guess I did technically suggest Madam Web, but it was in response to not doing Morbius.
That is true.
Yeah.
Who suggested Morbius? Who was it?
I did.
It was X.
Okay. Well, X, do you want to take this one then?
No.
Oh, okay.
Unless you don't have something.
How y'all feel about Waterworld?
Waterworld. How long is Waterworld? I just want to say.
Let's see. Waterworld is.
Oh, I'm pulling. It up.
Hold on.
It's 2 hours and 15 minutes long.
And here's the reason I'm pitching it is because I was talking to a kid named Nicholas, who is 20 years old, and he had never heard of Waterworld. I unironically like this movie, and was trying to explain to him why I like it, even when I have the knowledge that it's fucking bad.
X, have you seen Waterworld?
Okay, so I was gonna say there's a lot of movies that I have seen, and I think the reason we did the original part 2, the sequel, the way we did was because I have a bad memory. So even only having seen it like 2 days prior, I can't remember a lot of details. I remember 0 details of this movie, except that there's like a map tattooed on the back of somebody that they're looking for.
I have not seen Waterworld, so I guess I won't.
Okay. All right. So. Oh no. Okay.
This is going to be great.
So we're
going to do this.
We're doing Waterworld. Jett, you're not allowed to watch it.
Easy.
Okay. And oh my God. I guess the next thing I have to say is thank you, dear listeners, for hopping in on this one. I really hope that y'all had as much quote fun as we did during this episode.
Good time.
And a webbing good time.
Oh yeah. I hope we got a Webby for this one.
We're gonna have a webbing.
A Webby, the award.
Is that a real thing?
Yeah, yes. A Webby award.
Oh, yeah, they do them for podcasts now too. So.
Oh, okay. Well, then I'm in. If this sequel doesn't win us our freedom, then you can expect us in 2 more weeks covering Waterworld, and you'll have Jett Kuso as your audience surrogate to hold you all and protect you from all this new information if you haven't seen it as well.
I'll shield you, my children.
Yeah. Stay under my wing.
And in the meantime, if you want to catch us in some other areas, Roger and I do another podcast called Paranormal Dudes, as well as a few other ones that Roger does, including The Dirty 22 and SideQuest Digest. You can also find Jett on his YouTube channel.
YouTube.com/Jett Kuso. Easy to find. JETTKUSO.
It is
I just put up
actually
a new video
very easy to find.
Extremely easy to find.
And we'll catch you guys on Sequel Factory next time for part 2.
The sequel
continued.
Fade out the music.
Does whatever a web does.
The Madam Web
Spins
bitch.
a web. Wait, no, she doesn't.
Wait, actually, that's something else. This Spider-Bad man, he could spin a web. No, because Spider-Man had to invent those web spinners.
Yeah.
How's he doing it? How's he webbing?
He doesn't spin a web in the movie.
You see him swing.
No, I don't think so.
You'll go back and watch it again.
I think he just jumps, but one of the jumps looked like a swing whenever he lands. But
pretty sure he swung in the subway.
Oh yeah, when he was coming in and taking out the cops.
When he was taking out the cops, he swings in the subway. He's a subway swinger.
He's a subway swinger.
Oh, that should have been the title.
Now, if we just put subway swingers underneath the VOD on this, people would actually watch it all the way through.
Yeah.